And welcome to the 17th edition of Kashish Pride Film Festival, South Asia's biggest LGBTQIA film festival. Up next, we have something very interesting. It's a panel discussion called Behind the Celluloid, Beyond the Binary. And to do the honors, we have a great personality in our midst. Of course, they do not need any introduction because everybody knows them, okay? Someone who has been the co-chair of Flux Mumbai, which has recently been launched. I think this person definitely doesn't need introduction. Let's call upon Harish Iyer. Make some noise, people. Welcome, Harish. Good to see you. And now over to you.
Okay. I could read lengthy profiles of theirs, or I could just invite them and expect each one of you to make a roaring noise so that we know that they are welcome, because history knows them. Can we have, first we start with the mother. Can we have Meghna Kulkarni here? Meghna Kulkarni has been twice lucky. Twice lucky. She has 2 trans children. And there's been someone who has been working on the intersection for many, many years, and who carries herself, sometimes her whole body, what she wears, is an act of protest by itself. And she was at the same place and she received the Q Drishti grant. And whom am I speaking about? Ryan. Can we have Ryan on stage, please? Ryan is a film student. She is studying in Whistling Woods and is very soon going to graduate from there. Hopefully. Okay. We have someone amongst us who has been working, बहुत सारे संस्थाओं के साथ उन्होंने काम किया है और हमारे सब events में होते हैं. So whom am I speaking about? Anybody? Shine? In fact, there are not one, but there are 2 people here who are there in all events. So can we have Shine and Raj? And we have Radhika with us, who's one of the co-chairs of, I was going to say Kashish, no, Flux. Shine is a bodybuilder. He was Mr. You were Mr. Mr. India.
Okay. In Kerala, Thrissur, National Bodybuilding Fitness Federation, Mr. India. Second, silver medalist.
Okay. Now, I'm going to switch between English and Hindi. Okay. And whenever we're speaking in Hindi, if you don't understand, you can ask Radhika. Okay? Now, in the beginning, I wanted to ask you all something very, very simple. We were always speaking about rights all the time. हम हमारे हकों के बारे में बात कर रहे थे. और कहीं हम हक के बारे में बात कर रहे थे और representation के बारे में बात कर रहे थे. But do you think that despite जितना हम हकों के बारे में बात करते हैं, we are fighting about our rights, have we been represented adequately and properly on Celluloid? So first, and Shine, you can speak from the other half that we never speak about, from the South Indian perspective as well. So Shine, can you start? We usually start from the north, but we should start from the south now.
The representation of trans or queer peoples are very less, but other sectors are more, like politics, sports. Sports means in the cricket also, Kerala, trans men people also participate, trans men, trans women. But and also I know the films, not the film festival, kind of serial artist or something like that, trans woman and mostly trans woman. Trans women's representation is very less. Trans women are the film actors and all. Okay, because I know so many trans women who are become, I mean, like a film actors and all. But trans man is very less. I didn't see any trans men are there in the acted in films or no. But in Tamil, I know there is one movie, Thrittam Tirundu. That's a trans man movie. That only I seen. No other trans man movies I didn't see. No other trans masculine people's representation also not there. And also I got a call from one person asked me, Shine, are you interested to be part of any acting? I say, yeah, then no response. So that is the reason, because we want the more people to be participate in the, sorry, not participate, to be involved in this kind of films or something like that, but not getting an opportunity. The opportunity matters. So many people are telling you people transmits are not coming out, but in my point of view, that's really wrong, because I'm here, one of the examples, I is here. People are interested to be come out, but opportunities are not getting. That's what I can tell. Yeah.
Thank you. So, Meghna, since you have a trans masculine and a trans feminine child, 2 children, so what do you feel? And you she follows Tamil and Malayalam cinema more than what I as a Tamil or Malayali does. So, what do you feel? Have they been represented? And is there a complete shift that we have started in society, started speaking about these things, but cinema, have they started portraying or not?
So, yeah, there is a lot of progressive cinema in the South that I can definitely say. They do bring about issues related to the queer people in general. There are also trans women actors whom I've seen, particularly I can remember one trans femme actor from, that Mammootty film. What is that? Yeah.
Kadal.
Kadal, yeah. So she plays a lawyer, and there is also, maybe there are some other movies where there are small characters played by trans femme actors, trans women playing the roles. But yes, there is a lot to see the other people, trans masculine identities. We're talking about non-binary people. There is a lot of scope. But even, I mean, having seen that and feeling the joy of people who live that life and also have this, let's say, opportunity to play varied kind of roles, we still have that kind of, I don't see that happening in the typical Bollywood films. I still see people who are very cishet and, making a caricature of all the trans people, or even the like gay characters that we see in film. That is still happening today, and that is a very sad situation. But when I, as a parent, when I, as an individual who move around with my children, go to different places, or even with the different members of the community when we, meet each other, that is what I feel from the bottom of my heart, that there is no dearth of talent, there is no dearth of opportunities that can be given. There are so many people who have made it in their own spheres. But why those spheres need to be just restricted to a particular festival, to a particular, genre of movies, of films, or maybe only documentaries. Yeah, you do have, short films that are available. Rohan sir over here was here, I think. My exposure to the films that he has made was something so beautiful when I saw his, there are filmmakers, but then they're also available for free to watch on YouTube. But then how many people know about it? How many people make the effort to, that is what is important. When you have some flicks, nonsense flicks, I must say, like the recent, some of them big star cast people, you know what I'm talking about, propaganda movies, when they make so much of money, so much of moolah out of themes that are so, what can we say, oft repeated, they have been washed and laundered in the public. Those kind of themes are still being talked about. Why are we not waking up to this? You know, the last film we saw just now, on Love and Revolution, the Spanish film, when I saw that, I felt so happy that, these are the films that we can make. We have all the talent. I think there are people who can support such talents, and I think we should go from here only up and up.
Coming to Raj. Raj, मेरे को बताओ कि आप एक्टिविज्म में हो और आप फिल्में भी देखते हो, इन फिल्मों और अब व्यक्तिगत रूप में ज़िंदगी भी जीते हो, तो इन तीनों में क्या फिल्में दर्शाती है आपकी सच्चाई जो है वो सच्चाई को दर्शाती है एज अ ट्रांस मैन, या फिर अभी भी हम अटके हुए हैं लेस्बियन और गेस के बारे में और ये बात करने के बीच में जहाँ पे हम बात कर रहे हैं कमिंग आउट के बारे में, क्या हम उसी पे अटके हैं कि हम आगे बढ़ रहे हैं? कुछ पॉजिटिव आपको नज़र आ रहा है?
थैंक यू हरीश। सबसे पहले तो मैं बताना चाहूँगा कि जब हम बात करते हैं ट्रांस मस्कुलिन, ट्रांस मैन की, सो आप लोगों को ये जानना बहुत ज़रूरी है कि ट्रांस मस्कुलिन और ट्रांस मैन कौन है, क्योंकि हम LGBTIQ+ कम्युनिटी की बात करते हैं पर जो हमारे बीच की जो आइडेंटिटीज़ है उसके बारे में ही हमें पता नहीं है। सो थोड़ा सा मैं बताना चाहूँगा उसके बारे में कि ट्रांस मस्कुलिन और ट्रांस मैन की जब हम बात करते हैं तो वो कौन होते हैं, कि वो ऐसा पर्सन जो पैदाइश एक महिला के रूप में हुआ है पर जो दिल से, दिमाग से और भावनाओं से, इमोशनल, अपने बॉडी को अलाइन नहीं कर पाता है, या उसे लगता है कि वो एक गलत शरीर में कैद है, टैप है। सो वैसा पर्सन ट्रांस मस्कुलिन या ट्रांस मैन के रूप में जाना जाता है। और जेंडर अफर्मेटिव सर्जरी के थ्रू एक करेक्शन सर्जरी नहीं बोल सकते, जेंडर अफर्मेटिव के थ्रू वो अपने उस भावनाओं तक या जो वो सोचते हैं वहाँ तक पहुँचने की कोशिश करते हैं। पर दुख की बात ये है कि ये जो सर्जरी का प्रोसेस है बहुत से मायने में बहुत सारे लोगों पे अप्लाई नहीं हो पाता है। कभी उनका शरीर अलाउ नहीं करता है, बीमारियाँ, पैसा बहुत मैटर करता है, फाइनेंशियल चीज़ें। क्योंकि अगर ट्रांस मैन की बात करूँ तो जब बचपन में बच्चा लड़की है पर पैंट शर्ट पहनने की जिद करता है तो पेरेंट्स पहना देते हैं, ठीक है। एक सर्टेन एज के बाद पेरेंट्स को लगता है कि लड़की बड़ी हो रही है, अब इसको घर की चीज़ें सीखना चाहिए, तो वो कहते हैं चलो अब आपको कुर्ता उड़ता पहनना है और अब आप खाना बनाना सीख लो, ठीक है। उसके बाद जब थोड़ा और बड़े हो जाते हैं तो उनको लगता है चलो थोड़ा बहुत रोटी वोटी बना लिया है, अब इनको हम शादी करा देते हैं इनका। सो बहुत सारे ट्रांसमैन ऐसे हैं जिनकी ज़बरदस्ती शादी भी हुई है। पर अगर आपको अगर लगता है कि ट्रांसमैन की फैमिली में ऐसा नहीं होता है, सो आप एक बहुत ही अच्छे वातावरण में रह रहे हैं, पर आज भी आप देखेंगे बहुत सारे गाँव में या कस्बों में ये शब्द बहुत अनअवेयर है, किसी को पता ही नहीं है। इवन LGBT भी पता नहीं है, बस लोग देख लेते तो कहते हैं अच्छा ये लड़की है, लड़की को प्यार कर रहा है, वो लड़का है, लड़की के जैसे चल रहा है, या जो भी है। सो ये चीज़ है। अब अगर हम बात सिनेमा की करते हैं तो अगर हम बॉलीवुड की बात करें, टॉलीवुड की बात करें या भोजपुरी वुड की बात करें, जो भी है, सो उसमें कहीं कहीं पे आपको ट्रांसजेंडर्स, वीमेन या किन्नर कम्युनिटी के बारे में थोड़ा देखने को मिल जाएगा। बॉलीवुड की बात करें तो मजाक के तौर पे दिख जाएगा। अभी जो सर्टेन पिक्चरें आ रही हैं उसमें कुछ इन्फॉर्मेशन दिया जा रहा है, जैसे कि 1 या 2 साल पहले चंडीगढ़ करे आशिकी करके एक मूवी आई थी जिसमें ट्रांस वुमेन के बारे में बताया गया था, ठीक है। कुछ ऐसे मूवीज़ हैं जो पहले बनते थे उसमें तो लेस्बियंस कपल दिखाते थे तो उनको मर्डर बता देते थे, पति को मार दिया, बॉयफ्रेंड को मार दिया, लास्ट में खून ही बन गया, वो सब चीज़ें होती थी, ठीक है। बट जहाँ तक हम ट्रांसमैन की बात करते हैं अभी भी ये पूरी तरीके से ढका हुआ है, क्योंकि LGBT कम्युनिटी में ट्रांस मस्कुलिन पर्सन, ट्रांसमैन अभी भी, ठीक है, वो कमिंग आउट होने के फेज़ में होता है। कमिंग आउट होने से मेरे यहाँ पे 2 मतलब है। एक कमिंग आउट होता है जो हम सोसाइटी से होते हैं, एक कमिंग आउट होता है जो हम खुद से होते हैं, ठीक है। खुद से कमिंग आउट होना बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट होता है, क्योंकि वो इंसान जो एक सर्टेन एज के बाद उसको अगर घर छोड़ना पड़ रहा है, उसके पास वेल एजुकेशन नहीं है, जॉब नहीं है, घर नहीं है, और सोसाइटी में अगर वो बता रहा है कि अच्छा वो लड़की पैदा हुई पर उसकी भावनाएं लड़कों के जैसे है, सो उसको उसका जो स्ट्रगल होता है वो डबल होता है। क्योंकि जहाँ तक मैं अभी समझ रहा हूँ, ये 21st सेंचुरी में भी महिला होना अभी भी एक स्टिग्मा है, और उसमें भी अगर आप बोल रहे हो कि आप ट्रांस मैन हो, तो लोगों को लगता है अरे पिक्चरें देख के बच्चे बिगड़ गए हैं और लड़कों की तरह वो नाटक कर रहे हैं, ठीक है, बट एक सर्टेन एज के बाद उनकी शादी कर दो, बच्चे पैदा हो जाएंगे तो वो ठीक हो जाएगा, ठीक है, वो चीज़ें हैं। अब क्योंकि ट्रांस मैन की जो पब्लिक है वो बहुत कम है, जहाँ तक मैं जानता हूँ या सोच रहा हूँ, मे बी आई एम रॉन्ग ऑल्सो, तो जो भी हमारे डायरेक्टर है, एक्टर है, प्रोड्यूसर्स है, वो शायद पैसा अब नहीं लगाना चाहते हैं, वो और कुछ सालों का इंतज़ार कर रहे हैं। सो ट्रांस मैन के इश्यूज़ के बारे में कुछ और मूवीज़ आनी चाहिए, क्योंकि मुझे लगता है कि सिर्फ फिल्म फेस्टिवल्स वगैरह में ही या डॉक्यूमेंट्री में ही वो कैद नहीं होनी चाहिए, एक बड़े पर्दे पे भी वो उनके इश्यूज़ दिखाने चाहिए। क्योंकि बहुत सारे लोग अभी भी हैं जो सर्जरी करने के बाद भी सुसाइड कमिट कर रहे हैं, सर्जरी होने के बाद भी उनको जॉब नहीं मिल रही है, सर्जरी होने के बाद भी डॉक्यूमेंट्स वगैरह के लिए इश्यूज़ हो रहे हैं। तो कुछ ना कुछ एक बड़े पर्दे पे दिखना चाहिए, बिकॉज वी आर इंडियन, और इंडियन को पता है कि सिनेमा क्या होता है, एंड वी आर डाई फॉर द सिनेमा, और सिनेमा बहुत प्रभाव करता है एक इंसान की ज़िंदगी में।
शुक्रिया। तो सिनेमा प्रभाव करता है, और जो प्रभाव कर सकती हैं वो यहाँ पे है हमारे साथ। तो रायन इज़ विद अस, एंड रायन, इन्होंने बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट चीज़ के बारे में बोला, कातिल लेस्बियंस के बारे में, क्या खूंखार लेस्बियन राइट ऐसे बहुत सारे स्टीरियोटाइप्स जो हैं फिल्मों में दिखाए जाते हैं। सो ये जब ऑनलाइन आएगा तो बहुत सारे ऐसे फिल्म मेकर्स भी होंगे जो विस्लिंग वुड्स में भी होंगे, जो पढ़ाई करना चाहते होंगे, एंड दे वुड वांट टू नो कि ये जो ट्रांसजेंडर्स के रियलिटीज़ हैं या नॉन बाइनरी तो दूर की बात है, ट्रांसजेंडर्स की रियलिटीज़ भी लोग जानते हैं। तो शर्मनाक बात है कि राज को आज की तारीख में भी बाहर आके कहना पड़ता है, राज हैज़ टू कम आउट एंड से दिस टुडे that this is what is trans. Like we luckily have come out of the phase that we don't have to tell people this is gay and this is lesbian. But now we are still in a stage where we need to explain to people that it's trans. Is the film fraternity, you must have interacted with many people, faculty members, is the film fraternity even aware of the existence? Forget depiction. Are they aware of the existence of the variety in gender? Are they even aware, and have they portrayed it? Are there films that are being portrayed, that have been portraying in not just that, but also intersectionality and other issues?
Hi. So my name is Rayan, not Ryan.
Okay,
It's
Rayan.
fine. Everybody does that. So I'll try to I'll try to organize this answer because it can keep on going for really long, because this is the same topic that Harish and me have spoken about so many times, and we have been talking in detail about it. And after I went to film school, then I spent a lot of time studying it even further. So quite a few of us over here just now said that we don't find representation in Indian cinema. It's correct. I say yes, and actually there is a lot of representation in Indian cinema. A lot. When we did research, we found more than 256, we found, this people find more, in across languages in Indian cinema coming out from even before the independence. All of it sucks. All of it is really bad representation. Most of it makes fun of anybody who performs gender in a different way. There's even one famous trans mask representation, but it was a humor object. And it's always done that way. So the representation here, but just like even today, Diljit Dosanjh in his song will use the word chakka, that is more powerful. Okay? The representation that has existed has only led us to one place where even today we have to try and talk to the government and tell them, listen, we know what is trans, what you think is not trans, right? Again, we've been removed, our rights have been taken. And where does this thinking come from? right? Yes, British government, but that was in the past. What is the continuation of that thinking today? It is culture. It is culture, it is stories, it is films, it is books. You know, young kids in my own colony, I'm walking on the street and there's a mother walking on the same side of the road with me. And she will, suddenly she sees me, she notices, she'll take her child's hand, cross to the other side. That is teaching the child something, right? This is how we teach things. This is how the stigma carries that Diljit Dosanjh still uses the word chakka, he's a very progressive man. He's in legal trouble. He's been in legal trouble last year because of how progressive he is. But even he uses the word chakka because he's been trained by culture and film that when you want to talk about broken masculinity, when you want to talk about weaker masculinity, you use the term chakka. I'll tell you all, in Indian cinema and international cinema, there are some common stereotypes around trans characters, whether they are trans femme, trans masc, or non-binary, or cross-dressers. There's some common stereotypes. And as I tell you those stereotypes, try and think about how maybe at some point in your life you viewed, if you're a cisgender person in the audience, think about how at some point in your life you might have viewed trans people the same way. Number one is an object of humor, okay? You see someone who looks like us, it is permission to laugh. For me personally, I travel by the train for college, and I have now started wearing the niqab because of I don't want to take that home with me. I don't want to take their laughter home. So if I have my niqab and they can only see my eyes, I don't have to take that mental health trauma from them every day. But otherwise, people will look at me walking and they'll just laugh in my face. It's instinctive. They're not actually being mean. They're being very knee-jerk, like how Diljit Dosanjh uses on a very instinctive when he's writing a song, Chakka, fits here. They think laughing fits. Then there is scared. Like I told you, the mother who's taking the child and going. In the year I was born, there was a film that won the National Film Award for the actor. I always forget the name, either Sangarsh or Sadak or one of the others. Sangarsh, and you always remember the name. Because we've also been on panels before and spoken about this. And in that, there's a trans character who eats children for immortality, right? So this is the message that is being taught. And this continues. Even Akshay Kumar did a Lakshmi. Even Lakshmi is an object of horror, right? There's some comedy also, I think, in it. I've not seen it, but that's the kind of image. So this is another training that is given through cinema, right? It might have come previously, but today we as Indians in this modern India, democratic, we carry it forward. So ho gaya ye, sexual, an object of sexual desire. One who's always hitting on the man or always looking for sex. And this causes real life trauma to trans people in our lives because we get hit on, and when we reject, it is seen as something ridiculous. Today you'll see, I think today only, LSD 2 ka jo screening hai. I think it is today you'll see that stereotype play out in that film about how she is always seen as an object of sexual desire. She's seen as a sex worker. The twist is whatever you see in the film, but that is that stereotype that exists and how it puts her life in jeopardy, right? This idea, even the police have, ye to waise hi wali ladki hogi, she's trans, right? So this has a real life effect. 3 ho gaye. 4th, mentally deranged. 5th, I mean, it goes on. Always a victim. There was one movie that also won an award, which was very nice in the 90s. I'm forgetting the name of the actor. He won a national award for it. But even that is he wants to, I say he because it's a cisgender actor. But the character, she wants to adopt a child. And then Tamanna. And then she finally adopts the child. And it's a very touching, it's a very, it's a very touch. Thank you, ma'am. It's a very yeah.
Actually, Tamanna was one of the first movies where I felt, I cried. I cried not because, I was angry the way they showed the character acting in one way when they're not with the child whom they want to adopt. And another way when they're with their friends. When I saw that, and if you see, it may be available on YouTube or, you could watch it. It's a good representation of how
Paresh Rawal.
Paresh Rawal plays the character, how they are involved in actually looking after the children who have been thrown out. They adopt them, they want to adopt them, but they can't legally adopt them. They do take care of them, they make them into, amazing. The child that they bring up is an amazing individual, and the amazing individual realizes later the identity of the parent, the so-called adopted parent. It's a beautiful representation, but then again, after you see the entire movie, you feel sad for that character because that character is absolutely tragic. You know, you don't feel the joy for that character, and but anyway, it is a good step.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is a good step, but what does that, because you repeat it and we don't go beyond it, what does that do to people like me or Rit who's in the audience or other trans people, Raj, etc.? We also imagine that only tragedy here, right? If we are going to choose this life, which we can't choose, it is just there. But if we have to go ahead and do that, then it's going to be just tragedy. Okay, and so I'll end this answer with what you all had also shared on the group as a question, which also ma'am just spoke about. What we don't see in Indian cinema, and I mean definitely Bollywood, but I mean Indian cinema overall, is we don't see joy, we don't see resistance. We should, like Rit also wants to do this, Rit is sitting in the audience, and Rit also wants to do a thing about a trans character who goes to a college, right? Now, whether love happens, sex happens, murder, that's just going to college, so simple. Right? You all have seen, if you're a cisgender person, there's 100, 3 Idiots, Dil Chahta Hai, Jaane Tu Jaane. The list will go on. The Student of the Year, it'll go on, right? Tell me one that has a trans character that comes of age. Not there. Okay? Trans character who, without the help of someone, defeats their villains. That's what I want. That is the film that, I mean, I'm hoping that is the film that we made. Rit is also in it, in our diploma film. But that's what I want. A trans character who, without the help of any cis ally, defeats the villains and wins. Like, that sounds so crazy. It sounds so crazy because we've not seen it. But those are the things. Joy. I don't care about love anymore. I mean, I do in my life, but I don't want to see it. Because whenever we bring love and trans and queer, ho jata hai sexual. Right? And I'm a sexual being, but I'm tired of being seen only as that. Right? Yeah. That.
Thank you, thank you. Speaking about tragedies, the real tragedy of our times that this generation has seen is the Trans Act. And we have the NALSA co-petitioner over here. Radhika is the NALSA petitioner. And she's also the lead petitioner for the against the 2006 amendment. Over the years, Radhika, you've seen films being made, transgender people, forget in real life, even in real life, you see very few actors come out and speak about it. How much does cinema, does cinema actually portray what exactly is happening outside, and how much of cinema has a role in shaping mindsets in this country?
So thanks, Harish. I have just an interesting anecdote. When Harish and I were writing the script for the concept of this session, and he writes celluloid, and he says, I think I made a spelling mistake, and I said, thank you. It's only celluloid, not cellulite, which we have a lot of representation in. So, interestingly, my take as someone who loves movies and who lives my life through what we see in movies, the movies that we see on screen today, at least in mainstream media, doesn't represent India in its totality. So, I mean, if I were to take the entire picture of it and try to separate the activist from a person who just consumes media as a product, I think the expectations are very different. The fact that you've had a fair share of docudrama initiatives, which have seen a lot of different facets, intersectionality, roles, etc., coming out. But I think from a consumption perspective, we don't see that as much as we should be seeing. But I also look at it from a country with 1 billion+ people and the intersection of different kind of topics. How does that actually play out in people's priority, producers' priority, financiers' priority, etc.? But if I were just to take a very simple perspective towards viewing a film as a queer person, and I'm not talking as a trans person because it's very difficult for me as a trans person to fit myself in any of the characters on screen. I would like to be Kajol in Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, or maybe in Amir Khan in, where's that?
Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar.
Yeah, Jo Jeeta Wahi Sikandar. I would like to play Amir Khan in that, actually, who's the girl, etc. But, you know, interestingly, my perspective says, what's wrong in being seen as a villain? What's wrong as in being seen as a sexy siren or someone who wants? These are also parts of us. And I would like to see a film as a film and leave it as it is. The fact that it runs into our life and creates an impact, that is also something that we need to be worried about. Like, there are lots of people who have made their lives into documentaries played by celebrities, and a lot of it is cinematic liberty. And we take it for the absolute truth. Well, a lot of it, about 80% of it, is absolutely not true and not happened. It happens in the name of cinematic liberty. But we should learn to take a film for what it is and not think of films as the greatest medium to change society. So the question, Harish, that I would like to pose to you is, do we make films as a medium of change for society, or does the society need to change to see films the way we want to see that?
I think we need to make films as a medium of change for society. I think that's the way, because I do think a good cinema could precede society to think in a different